would like to ask you guys, how many of you love tests? Raise your hand if you do. Who? I like that. I like to hear that, okay? This speech. How many of you guys like to take tests? Raise your hand if you do. Oh, you guys are weird. How many of you guys hate tests? Raise your hand. This speech is for you guys. So, when I was told to find perspective on the topic, I decided to take a stab at the grading system. Now, on the surface, this system of showing student understanding may look and appear sound. When you dive in, however, you discover a whole new truth, a whole new perspective of the grading system, and that is that it causes more trouble than good. I know to you it may look like I'm some angry kid getting mad over my test or whatever, but if you give me 5 short minutes, I promise you I will have enlightened you to a whole new issue on why I believe the grading system must be changed. To begin, have you guys, ever sitting in a classroom, ever witnessed a teacher going through a long lecture on stuff that, you don't really care about, while speeding through topics with pages of what seem to be endless notes? Because I have. And I've sat down there dumbfounded, wondering how I would absorb all that information. Unfortunately, this case is too common, and the sad reality is that students are often encouraged to memorize information than rather really understand it. Take my chemistry class as an example. We had dove into a new chapter and had covered a whole lot of material on just theory. And going into that class, a single hour felt like an entire day. And it pretty much felt like we were being taught rocket science. And it's not like I was alone in that confusion. All my friends were. We were all lost. And when that lecture ended, we were told that we would be given a test the next day. That added stress and pressure didn't constitute well to many of us. So we all went to our last resort, memorization. A lot of us had memorized a huge load of information. And at the time, we did really good on that test. I can't lie, I did pretty good. But then when it came to the exam, I failed. Everyone failed. And that was because we had all memorized information. We didn't actually understand it. And that for me begged the question, how good was our education when we were graded so unfairly? I came to a realization that, education system really only cared to prioritize a curriculum, not really you. And that experience changed my perspective on what education and testing actually meant. It wasn't a learning game, but rather a memorization game and of who could do it the best. On the same subject of testing, I want you to think about a time when you studied extremely hard for a test. For weeks on end, you planned your days, dedicating time to study for a single subject, raising your expectations so high, all to end up with a miserable grade. How would you feel? Tell me, really, how would you feel? Bad, right? Exactly. I know I'd be discouraged, and you guys too, as it has happened to me before. And I am confident that you relate too, because the harsh truth is that the grading system can take a jab at your self-esteem and toy with your emotions as it pleases. And because of that, students lose confidence in their ability to try, in their ability to explore when they don't receive a good score. While researching for this talk, I read this study about grade disappointment, something that really resonated well with my problem. Now, it's this big fancy statistic, so I'm gonna dumb it down a bit. Academic disappointment can influence self-worth or self-esteem. And instability of self-esteem, so problems with having your self-esteem up, has been associated with depression, when faced with academic failure. With this in mind, guys, I think the idea is clear. Grades affect emotions. If you receive a bad grade, you often end up feeling really, really bad about it. Now, this involves education as it attacks your ability of confidence. And confidence plays a vital role in your ability to succeed. If terrible grades consecutively beat you down, you're more likely to have a low self-esteem, and that can affect your will to try, preventing different skills from growing, like creativity, deep thinking, exploring, being outside of the box, really, because you think you're not capable enough, and that's really difficult. So when you adopt this raw idea into your own perspective, it shows you how a silly number really has a big influence on your life, so heavily. So I would say this, guys, it is important to find a balance early on with school and grades, so you don't overstep and hurt your own mental health, because grades, they can take a toll on you. So don't let them get to you, This broken grading system Did you guys know that it's been in existence for more than like 150 years with little to no change, right? Like seriously. And you know, while we may argue and give excuses as to why it still exists, we forget about the real challenges that it holds. Like how students feel encouraged to memorize information than rather truly understand it, and how people lose confidence in their ability to try when they don't receive a good score. These are the unfortunate consequences that we've crafted due to this misguided system that we call the education system. Thank you.